Darlene.
Hey, Susan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
It's,
so glad you're
it's
able to join us and on this, interview about Giving Tuesday.
yeah, thanks for having me. It's such a perfect time to start thinking about it as
Yeah,
everybody is starting to shop and spend lots of money on random things they probably don't need. And Giving Tuesday is a great way to add to the mix where it actually you're putting
yes,
some dollars behind important matters to you. So I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
of course. It's my pleasure to have you join us, and I'm definitely grateful for your support. Um, so I just wanted, because there were so many questions about Giving Tuesday, I just want to share my excitement of why we're doing Giving Tuesday. And
Yeah.
feel free to stop me on my little PowerPoint because I was having a lot of questions. So I figured I'll just do a PowerPoint and, at the beginning of each interview, I'll review it just in case people have not seen any of the interviews before. So basically, Giving Tuesday. Okay. So Giving Tuesday is a global movement, and the headquarters is also a nonprofit. But we, as well, there are different campaigns. And my nonprofit is the American Society of Community Benefits. It's this one here. And as a new nonprofit, I was asking myself, what am I going to do to get myself known, right? Usually, when one is a nonprofit, there's really no, like, very limited resources in terms of marketing and promoting. So I thought I need to get something, like, do something big. So I called Giving Tuesday and I asked, how do I get on the map? How do I get on this map? And I'll show you this map I'm talking about. I was I was really bugging people about getting on a map. I was like, how do I get on this map?
Like
So
I
in
want to have
August,
my little pin.
yeah, that's exactly what I was like. I need that little, like, spot on the map. So on late August, I called Giving Tuesday and I got an interview and they accepted me. And me meaning me and my organization, American Society of Community Benefits. And from that point forward, it's like, okay, we need to come up with what we're doing, right? What were we doing with Giving Tuesday? And I, I've, I was like, oh, okay, well, we need a name, right? So anyway, we got on the map. So this is us, right there.
Yay!
A little
Congratulations for
blue.
getting
Yeah, thank
that.
you. I know we're on the map. I know. I'm like so excited. We're getting thumbs
I'm,
up right now.
I'm actually surprised, Susan, seeing the map. I thought that there would be
Yeah.
more pins on here. It's
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty smart.
we're a handful here in California.
Yeah,
So
there's not too
we just
many,
added a
especially.
little a little blue heart. That's our campaign. So when I know you're on the board of directors with us, and it was like, what was your feeling when I first like, hey, we're on the map. What were you thinking? What were your thoughts?
That's funny. I don't know. I was just excited for you and for the organization to have an opportunity to get your name out there in a bigger way. It's
Uh-huh.
so hard, like you were saying, to as a nonprofit to get your name out there and have people come on
Yes.
board with your mission and your vision for how you want to give back to the community. It can
Yep.
take a lot of work and it takes a lot of time and energy and effort and a lot of relationship building and connections. And the
Mhm.
fact that you were able to start a nonprofit this year and already be on the map for Giving Tuesday shows your dedication and your heart for giving back to the local community. So I commend you for doing it because I think a lot of
Well,
people they start their nonprofit as like an extension of their business, something that they can
mhm.
add to it. And you've really taken like your passion and gotten it out there and you're passionate about getting your message out. So I love it.
And you know what's cool? This morning, our campaign got recognized by somebody in Kenya, one of the community leaders out there, and we meaning our organization. Well, you're on the board, we are one in 400 community leaders for this Giving Tuesday campaign. So it's
Pretty
huge.
cool. And to think like nonprofits typically, like I know ours specifically is helping Southern California. And when you're on a map, worldwide map, where so
Yes.
many people are able to get educated and learn about different tools and resources and just seeing what other nonprofits are doing out there as well
Yeah, I know.
sparks ideas, I know, for us here in Southern California.
Hmm. See where we are on the left side and the in California.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's us, and you know, it's for us to keep. It's ours. It's American Society of Community Benefits campaign forever. So we can't. I mean, they this Giving Tuesday won't just come in and say, okay, somebody else is taking this next year. No, it's ours because we
Yeah.
started it, so it's ours. From this point forward, it's ours. All right. So, what is a community partner? Well, community partners help with some of the costs of the campaign that we're running, and our campaign is called Giving Tuesday Inland Empire. So we're basically not just helping our own nonprofit, but we're helping other nonprofits in the Inland Empire. And community partners are very important to helping us with some of the costs. And as a community partner, well, community partners can actually showcase their brand and their corporate image on the websites, on various media that we have, and on the day of Giving Tuesday, which is November 29, um, they can actually go out there and meet their, customers and potential um, networking with other businesses, and later on become strategic partners in their companies. And of course, there's marketing reach, and as you can see on the map, is global.
Yeah.
But
How,
it's
Susan,
huge.
how do people partner with us? If someone's listening right now and they
Mhm.
would like to partner with the Giving Tuesday campaign, what does that look like? How does somebody reach out and get involved?
Well, I have on the screen here. There's our Facebook page for Giving Tuesday Inland Empire, and that also links back to our Eventbrite page. I'll have the Eventbrite link in a little bit. But basically, that's the easiest way for people to donate and to sign up as a community partner is to go to the Eventbrite page. And of course, some of the interviews are also on there. So I hope people do get inspired to sign up because we do need community partners and we need vendors, um, because that will contribute to part of that will contribute to the campaign, and then we will be able to distribute some of the funds to other nonprofits that are in the campaign. So make it the more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do need the support. You know, do we need vendors? Yes, we do. We need vendors. We do have space, and so vendors, if you're interested, you need to hurry and contact me and reserve your space. What do vendors get? They get the space to sell the goods and services. Just make sure it's nothing illegal or banned. uh, and it's between the hours of 11 to 4:30 on November 29. As a community partner at the $25 donation level, um, you're getting exposure before and after the event, marketing on social media, flyers, and websites. At the $50 level, you're getting exposure before and after the event, marketing on social media, flyers, websites, e-magazine page. And the $100 level, which is where you're at, Darlene, is the exposure before and after the event, marketing on social media, flyers, websites, one-on-one interview, which is what we're doing now. We have the e-magazine page, and of course we have the advertisements. So this is just a summary of all the, like what donations or would get for vendors, $15 and $20. Actually, I think the vendor went up to 24, because it went up to 24. So it's either $15 or $24 for the vendors, and the community partners where it are 25, 50, and 100. And what we're recommending is $25 per nonprofit that's signed up with us. All right. So why are we doing this, Darlene? You're my treasurer. What do you think?
Yeah. So I know why I'm doing it. I can answer that. I just the ability to give back to the community in such a big
Mhm.
way, especially when so many people are hurting right now. We're in,
Mhm.
depending on who you ask, I think we're in a recession. I know people say we're not in a
Mhm.
recession yet. I feel like there's behaviors that it's coming. And so people are acting as if they already are in. And when you
Mhm.
think about like the local teenagers, the veterans, the families that need extra support that are on disability and they're having a hard time making ends meet, like, that's why we do this, is being able to
Yeah.
give back to people so that they can get supported and
Mhm.
have the things that they need. When I think of my life, I was a teen mom. So I had my oldest son, he just turned 27 on Thursday last week. I
Yeah.
had him, I was 17 years old, a senior in high school when I found out I was pregnant. And then I had him a few months after I graduated high school. And I know what that time was like. I know that I was very determined to raise my son. And it was probably one of the hardest decisions I ever made, you know, being a teenager and finding out that I was pregnant and what that was going to look like. And some of my family was very supportive. Other people in my family were like, you shouldn't keep this
Yeah.
baby. It's going to impact your life. How are you going to do this? And I was joking the other day. I was sharing the story, and I was like, I was kind of like Madonna when she says she's keeping her baby, and that old, I think it was a song from the 80s.
Yeah, I know,
And
right?
it made me the
And
person I
Papa
am
don't
today.
preach.
Yeah, Papa don't preach. Exactly. I'm keeping my
Also, I think
baby.
I preach.
But I think so many people, like so many teenagers, so many veterans, people need extra support. And as a community, when we can gather around people and rally and let people know, hey, we're here for you. I see you. I support you. I've got your back. That was the most important thing for me when I was, in that situation myself at a very young age. And I'm so glad that I had the support and the people that rallied around me. And though it was hard in the beginning,
Yes.
it definitely, I always joke that my son raised me just as much as I raised him. And it was because of my community and my family and the people that came around me. And so
Yeah,
that's part of like my heart and my mission for this is being able to be there for other people so they can just that extra hand, someone reaching out saying, hey, I'm here for you. I've got your back can mean the world to so many people.
Yep. Even a little bit, just a little act of kindness, right? Just something that people might not think about can make a difference to someone else, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, it's been suggested to me to just bring a box and, put Giving Tuesday on it and people bring their change. I'm like, well, maybe. But I need help to do that. I need time to put that box together and put a sign on it and paint it or, promote the box. Yeah, so every bit helps with a nonprofit because we are short on assistance with from people for time, for money, and we're competing with other organizations. And the reason why we do have Giving Tuesday is that as a campaign leader, we're in charge of this. We are the ones piloting this boat, right? On Giving Tuesday, and we have other nonprofits signed up with us, so they are looking at us to give them direction on what to do, where to go, how to promote the event, and it's us. We have to make it happen. And it's been suggested, oh, well, you should change it to another day. No, we can't. It's
You
Giving
can't
Tuesday.
change Tuesday. Though, Susan, if you look at the trends for Black Friday, I mean,
Yeah.
Black Friday used to be the day after Thanksgiving, and now it's all in November, and it's open. The stores are open on Thanksgiving Day, and so much has shifted. So we could just do, Giving Tuesday all month long if we wanted to. But I love that you're keeping it in theme with because Black Friday traditionally is on Friday, then Cyber Monday's on Monday.
Yep.
And so you've gone out and gone shopping, you've done all your online shopping, and now there's an opportunity for you to say, this is the time for giving. This is the time of year where we want to bring people together, and I want to give back to a local organization to help them with their mission, to do the good work that they're doing. Most people want to give back, and oftentimes they don't know what to do. They don't know how to give, and they get busy. I know when I look at my life, it's I'm running my own business. I've got kids. They're in sports and activities, and I'm volunteering at the school, and there's all the different pieces that are going. But how do we take it to that next level and really be able to, wrap our arms around the city that we live in and find ways to nurture and support and encourage?
Yeah. I know. It's a balance that we have to, it's a fight, I guess. Just have to keep going for that balance.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to talk about your business and how you help business owners. So I have a little bit of your there's you.
There's me. That's me. Yep. So yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Darlene Hawley, which is very clearly written on the screen for us right now. So thank you, Susan. I do a lot of leadership and business coaching I kind of help clients in two different ways. Most of my clients are looking for ways to speak up, stand out, and make a bigger impact doing the work that they do. And 50% of my client work is one-on-one with typically service-based online entrepreneurs who are starting their businesses and they need help getting the foundations built out so that they can have an opportunity just to get their message to the world. A lot of the work I do with them is helping them with identifying what their niche is, who their ideal clients are, what their message is, how to communicate that message, whether it's written form on social media and blog posts, or if it's verbal, if they're getting up and speaking on stages or on podcasts. So having a place where you can communicate your message is huge. And then the other half of my business is in leadership training, where I go into organizations and I help them with finding their voice, making sure that their employees are able to speak up for sales negotiations, big presentations for like inside the organization. And sometimes it's even, the CEO or a leader in the organization who's looking to up level their communication skills, and they just want someone to support them and help them find the right words. So when they do get a chance to speak, people listen, people pay attention, and they don't just tell them something, but they're actually calling them to take action and helping them move forward to make a change in the world. And so that's the two ways that I really, dive in and support my clients, is the one-on-one as well as the team organizational work.
That's important, because CEOs are often by themselves and have a lot of thoughts in their mind, and to keep them busy.
Yeah, they're visionaries. They have huge ideas, huge visions. They know what they want to do, but sometimes there's like that disconnect between knowing what you want to say and then what actually comes out of your mouth. And can you clearly communicate it and say it succinctly so that people lean in and they want to get involved? They see your cause, they see your heart, and they're either thinking, "Ooh, I need support from you," or they might also be thinking, "You know what? I know somebody who I need to connect you with that would be a great partner here."
Yep. I know we all need that. I mean, Darlene is a great person. She was doing a lot of workshops and branding and marketing, and I was very impressed with her. And it just pretty much started from there. And you're very approachable. You're like, this is what you need to do. No, I mean, you're very gentle about that, but
Yeah.
But sometimes we do need that reality check, right? Like, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
You need to get back on track, right? So I think
that's the powerful thing that comes with coaching, I feel like, is we need that gentle guidance. We need somebody who can ask us the hard questions when sometimes we don't even know if we have the answer yet. But when we start digging, asking questions and getting curious, we're able to pull so much information out. And then that helps us to just show up as the leader that we are in a bigger way.
And I know you've asked me some really tough questions. And I'm still working on those answers, Darlene. I'm still working on them.
Yeah. And we don't always have the answer right away. Sometimes we have to, take a step back and do the soul searching and figure out exactly what it is that we want and how we want to show up. And sometimes there's so many pieces to the puzzle when it comes to running a business, running a nonprofit. There's so much good in our hearts that we just want to be able to go out there and make an impact, but we have to figure out those small little, breadcrumbs, as I like to think of them. Like, there's so many breadcrumbs that we have to lay out so that our ideal clients and our community can really understand who we are and why we're showing up and how we're there to support.
Exactly. So what do you think about what we're doing for Giving Tuesday? Do you think we're making a big enough impact with, putting our faces out there, just using our business knowledge, using our branding knowledge? Do you think we're doing enough?
That's a great question, Susan. I think part of it is getting the exposure, and we're a brand new nonprofit. We're just starting to leave our footprint in our local community. So the fact that we're in the Giving Tuesday campaign is huge. That's going to be a huge stepping stone. I feel like that's going to lead us for years to come. Yeah. And I think that there's always room to do more. We're brand new, like you like you shared. And the fact that we've got a footprint out there, we're building relationships, we're calling in the community, we're asking for help, pulling other people in. Those are the pieces that are going to get us to where we're going to make our nonprofit even be able to impact more people's lives.
Yep.
And is there room for improvement? Always. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly growing.
Mhm.
I've had my own business now for 16 years, and I feel like there's always a new version of me. I hear something and I'm like, ooh, I need to tweak this. I need to change this. So can we make a bigger impact? Absolutely. But I
Yeah.
think we're going the right direction. And the, what happens this year, next Tuesday or a week from tomorrow, is only going to, expedite and help grow not only the Giving Tuesday campaign, but just the work that
Yes.
we're doing on a daily, monthly, yearly basis here locally as well.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm showing you the map again because I'm so excited. That's us on the map. I'm like, you can go to, the organization's website, which is givingtuesday.org, and show, well, you look for how to get involved and you'll see that we're on there. I didn't
Yeah,
I didn't Photoshop that in there. It's there.
I would
And you
hope
know what?
not.
Yeah, right. And you know what's cool is that this morning I was actually in a quick meeting with a local nonprofit that actually helps people like homeowners that are in trouble with their mortgage or behind on their mortgages, especially with veterans. And the my contact there said, "Why are we not partners? We need to partner up." And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." So that seems like they'll be joining us on Tuesday to do this.
Awesome. Yeah, and I
So
think we're in that building stage where it's just constantly going to be having those conversations. And the more conversations we have, the more people that
mhm.
are going to understand the mission. They're going to be a
Yeah,
wannabe, or they're going to want to be a part of the change. And they're
yeah,
going to raise their hand and say, like, how do I get involved? What do I need to
yeah.
do? How can I help? And that's what we really want, is people stepping up and saying,
Mhm.
I don't know how to give, but I'm here. Tell me what to do. How can I support? What do you
I
need? And
know.
then taking it from there.
Yes, we do. Well, I feel like, as the community leader, we have to take that first step, um, especially with the nonprofits. I mean, we are new, but we have 15 board members. Between the executive and the advisory boards, we have 15 board members. So through the years, I've consulted with other nonprofits and other businesses, and I'm like, wow, sometimes it takes them a few years to build to that level, you know. And I feel like I sort of fast tracked. We're
Yeah,
like
you did a
really
beautiful
fast.
job of pulling amazing people together who all have a passion
Yes.
to give back, which
Yeah.
is hard to do because I know a lot of nonprofits struggle to get board members,
I
and you
know.
came
Not,
out
I
running.
know. I know. And many of us are very busy people. I mean, I haven't traveled that much this year, but a lot of our other board members have been traveling, and they have businesses everywhere. Well, you were traveling too at one point, I think. And then, well, we have people in California, Arizona, we have Georgia, and then we have Canada. And I have someone coming in from Australia, possibly, but we'll see. We might say, "Hold off, Australia," you know. But
Yes,
yeah, that's
you can tell that Susan's doing amazing things because she's got a local
yeah,
Inland Empire nonprofit, and she has
hmm
people that do not live locally in Southern
yeah,
California that are a part of her cause and her heart and her
yeah.
mission. So it shows your passion, Susan, for the work that you're doing, that it's
Cool,
that contagious that people from all over the world want to be involved in your mission.
isn't
And I
that
can
neat?
definitely see, like, I'm
Mhm.
just putting this out there. This might be a global nonprofit at some point because of the efforts
Yes,
that you're putting in now. Like, you're planting those seeds to
yes,
grow bigger and to take it to
we
the next
are.
level.
We are. Even though the name is American Society of Community Benefits, it's really we're helping our community wherever the community happens to be. And it could be in America, it could be Canada, it could be Australia, right?
Yeah.
Um, but you know what's cool is that I got a message this morning from somebody in Kenya. I'm like, wow, I wasn't even thinking about somebody in Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so Giving Tuesday, how do people give? I think a lot of people are really afraid of asking, like when they need help. Especially in, like, I was just going back to my what I was saying earlier about asking for help. When the organizations are young, they're really overlooked because they don't have enough resources to make those phone calls or even get people or time to make those phone calls, send out messages or letters and emails, right?
Yeah.
So Giving Tuesday for us, because we are the campaign manager, we're essentially their loudspeaker, right? We're like their channel, to get their names out there. And but I'm just hoping that every nonprofit that sign on with us will come out on, and participate on Giving Tuesday, because we have the platform already set up for them to do that. And now it's just for them, we're just helping them in that process of like reaching out and asking for whatever they need.
So we are,
So,
Susan, we're looking for more nonprofits to partner with right now. Am I hearing that correctly?
um,
Or the
we,
nonprofits kind of aside at this point, and we're more focused on supporters?
we need more supporters, because if we dilute the campaign to too many nonprofits, there will not be enough funds to go around,
Okay.
especially with this being our first year. And, we need people to help us raise funds. Uh, so if we're able to generate more funds, then of course we will bring on more nonprofits. But even if the nonprofits sign on and they don't really expect a lot of funds to go back to their organizations, they're still getting the promotional value from it.
Yeah.
We're getting their names out there. Um, I mean, especially on the flyers, and I've been trying to get people to interview with me, so that's another way. Uh,
Yeah.
Maybe they're
That's the
camera
that's
shy.
the
I
beauty
don't
of
know.
like doing live streams and podcasts and YouTube, is
Yep.
there's so many different ways that we can get our message out in the world. And I love
Yes.
that you're grabbing the microphone and saying, "Hey, let's
I
chat."
know. I know, and especially going live. I guess a lot of people don't want to do that, and I don't know. Camera shy. You can't be shy when you're asking, right?
Absolutely, especially with what you're doing for the community. Like you have to be able to, grab a
Yeah.
platform and start sharing your message and sharing,
Yep.
part of your story for why you started this campaign. I would
Yeah.
actually love to hear, Susan, because I don't know that I've heard the full version of it.
Uh
Can
huh.
you share with us, like, how did this passion come for you for starting the
Um,
nonprofit, getting this group of
w-
amazing people together to start supporting it? I'd love to
yeah.
hear some of the backstory.
Thank you for asking. A long time ago, I would say about 8 years, at least 8 years. But I've always volunteered as a kid. In middle school, elementary school, middle school, high school, in college. I've always volunteered. And even after starting my first business, I was often a volunteer at various organizations and causes. High school was, I guess, pivotal for me because I volunteered at Laguna Honda Hospital in San Francisco. And what I did there, I was actually like what they called a buddy to the patients. And my buddy was a quadriplegic veteran. And I thought, wow, well, before we were partnered with buddies at the hospital, we actually had to go through training, so we understood what it felt like for people to be disabled or lose a limb, or few limbs. And we had to keep that in mind when we're visiting people. And my buddy was actually a blind quadriplegic, and I visited him, and he was bedridden, so I would visited him every week, at least once a week, and talking with him, and he would tell me about his war stories, as a veteran, and how nobody visited him at all while he's been there, and he appreciated that I visited him. And then my other buddy was an elderly lady, where I would go to the hospital and I would take her to church every Sunday, which was really fun. I really enjoyed it was Roman Catholic church, and I'm not affiliated with any church, but I just enjoyed being there because it was different. It was a different atmosphere. There was no judging of there was no judgment of anyone, like just being there. And then after the church service, we organized the weekly like dance for the seniors. So I had fun doing that, just organizing and decorating. So that was
Yeah.
neat. I enjoyed doing that, and of course, I guess that prepared me to be able to help myself and my husband, because he needed a kidney in 2016. Between 2016 to 2020, I was actually his advocate, um, to locate a kidney donor for him. And at that point, I was creating what I called a 1 in a million campaign. And I really campaigned hard. I was, instead of focusing on business or school, I was focusing on finding a kidney donor. So
Yeah.
I was at one of my pageants. I was like, okay, they know me well enough now. They know I'm coming after the kidney. So you know, because I was not able to talk about business. I was more like, okay, I need a kidney donor. That was
Yeah.
how
Well, yeah,
focused.
your husband was fighting for his life and you
Oh
were the
yeah,
one advocating for him. So the fact that you
yeah.
were able to go out there
And we have five
and do that.
children, five young children at the. I mean, they're grown up a little bit now, but it was traumatizing for the younger one, for all of them actually, the entire family was traumatizing. And with me being the sole income earner for the family, I was pretty much like, I need to figure this out because I could go to as many nonprofits as there were out there that could potentially help us with rent, with food, and with whatever. But eventually the sources ran out of money, and it's like, oh well, now what do we do now? So I thought if there was a nonprofit that could actually help people with, stuff year round, not just during the holidays, but with medical expenses, with housing, with food, and with um, educational expenses year round, I guess I would have to do it if nobody else comes up and do it, right?
Yeah.
So 20, well, my husband, I finally did find him a kidney donor in 2020. He got I know, June 17, 2020. That was like
Wow.
the day I was like, we're getting this done. We're getting this done. Don't worry. I was, because there's always a possibility that the donor would back out or something would happen the day of surgery, that, the transplant might not happen. And that's the whole point of being a kidney donor, is that they have to do it on their own will.
Yeah.
Nobody can buy them. Nobody can say, I'll pay you X amount of dollars for the kidney. That's just illegal. And of course, we can't do anything to make it like, so we are buying a kidney because it has to be voluntary. Everything
Yeah.
has to be voluntary. Um, and this lady, we didn't know her from the beginning, but she turned out to be the perfect match. She was from South Carolina, and her name is Donna Weaver Moore. She and her husband, Dean Moore, flew from South Carolina to UCLA to make sure that my husband was the one to receive the kidney. They didn't want to take any chances, like the kidney getting lost somewhere in transport. And they flew out here. I was like, wow, that's really like, I didn't know what else to expect. Like, other than when I first started the campaign, my idea was, if I have at least one person, if I reach enough people, hopefully I reach 1 million people, and one person would be a good match. That's why it was 1 in a million campaign.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I reached 1 million at the time I found her, but
All right.
it only takes that one perfect match, and she was the perfect match.
Yeah.
The doctors were saying, "Wow, is she related to you at all, or because she's like as close to a sibling as you can get." And we were
Wow.
like, oh wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. The selflessness of her
Yeah,
to go through a
absolutely.
procedure that I know is risky even on
Oh
her
yeah.
side to
Yes,
give
and
to
even the
somebody
family.
he doesn't even
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, and the family was supportive, and that's why we were able to have it. It was like successful.
Yeah.
um Anything could have happened. And I was just hoping that everything went smoothly for everyone. And it did, and I'm so happy, because I was able from that point forward just sort of pick up from where I left off in 2008. That's when he was starting to get sick, was 2008. So I felt like my life was sort of on hold between 2008 to 2020. It was never
Yeah.
really like I could go forward with what I needed to do. So um, this nonprofit is actually like, it was probably the concept, I would say, started at least as far back as 2008.
Yeah.
Um,
And you
but yeah.
mentioned, Susan, that you don't know if you've gotten to 1 million yet. And I love that yet part, because you're still like, yeah, you found the match for your husband, but look at how
Yeah.
you're still impacting lives. And you're
Oh yeah.
like, I think part of your mission is to impact a
Yeah.
million people's lives in some shape of fashion.
Thank
And I
you.
think you're doing that.
I didn't think of it that way, but yes, you're right. I
You're
don't know
impacting
how
the
many is that million?
nonprofit, like you're impacting so many people's lives every single day. And so I don't think your mission's
Yeah.
done. I think you're just beginning. And it just
Cool.
started
Thank
with your
you.
husband.
And you're part of that mission.
Yeah. I'm here to
Thank you,
support
Darlene.
all of it. I'm here for it.
Thank you. Yeah, we need it. We need it. So thank you so
Yeah.
much, Darlene. Yeah.
You're so welcome,
So
Susan.
I'm just thinking, the housing that we're going to provide, it's for veterans, domestic abuse survivors, and youth aging out of foster care. I feel that those three are the main demographics that really need a lot of help. Veterans, because many of them are, well, I can't speak for all of them, but many of them do need the assistance. And, well, some of them don't have the family support, or
Yeah.
some of them had fallen because of PTSD. Yeah, there's just a lot of issues, that,
Yeah.
that
Their
they
their
have.
mental their mental wellness needs to be supported, and the fact that they'll be
Hmm.
able to have a safe place to
Yep.
they'll be in a safe place where they can take care of their
Hmm.
selves, and
Yep.
they can get the support that they need. That's what
Yep.
so many people need. So many people are impacted on a daily basis with some shape form of trauma, whether it's
Hmm.
PTSD or they grew up in a foster
Yeah.
care system, and a lot of things happen in those
Yeah.
places. And if there's a safe place they can come together to get on their feet and get back, into what they need, then I think that
Hmm.
that's the important thing that we're providing here, is a safe space for them to be able to get back on their feet,
Yep.
knowing that they have people around them that care and are there for them and are there for conversations. We're a
Hmm.
listening ear. We're someone who's going to help, with the finance piece, but also just the mental wellness. Like
Oh, I love it.
how so many people just need someone to talk to, in a place where
Yes.
they can start a conversation and share what's been going on, and get the
Hmm.
tools and the support and the resources so they can, move forward with their life.
Yeah. And that all ties into like mental health and basically living with dignity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like for example, the domestic abuse survivors. I call them survivors because you have to be one in order to, get out of a situation that was not a healthy situation, and it takes courage. I've met women who were in those types of situations, and they just didn't know what to do. They were fearful for themselves and for their children. They just didn't know what to do. They were afraid to leave. If they left, they didn't know if they could, if they could go back, or there's that hope that they could go back to something that had become better. So that's for the domestic abuse survivors. So yes, they do need a safe place to go. You know, and usually I think usually during the holidays is pretty tough for the domestic violence, domestic abuse survivors, because it brings back a lot of memories and bad memories for most of them. So that's one. That's the other demographic, and then of course the foster youth. Um, their story is a little bit different. You know, they're still young, but then they're expected to be on their own at the age of 18, have a place to pay for on their own. If there was no support elsewhere, they pretty much is homeless, right? Homelessness. I
Yeah.
mean, for kids that move out at age 18 and they have family that they can call upon or go back, they have family. Foster youth, they don't have family, right? So that's
Yeah.
why I thought, yeah, this would be a good demographic to help. I mean, I would love to help. Like, that's why the secondary mission that we have is we help throughout the year, not just during the holidays. We have to help throughout the year. So with
Yeah.
this Giving Tuesday campaign, I'm just I'm going to show you the map again because I'm so excited. I just like this map. I just like this is us. We are the community leader for this campaign, and it is not just like yay we got on the map. You know, getting on that map meant something huge. We are a
Yeah.
leader. This is what this map means. We are in charge of this campaign to make sure that we can help others. It's not just helping our organization. And that's why this Giving Tuesday, even though it's the first one that we're doing in our area, is important. We have to make it happen. We have to. And despite all the people that, Susan, you can move it to another date. I'm like, well, I can move it to any date, but it's still, we still have to make it happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, we
Regardless.
can have other events. We can have other things throughout the year, but
Yes, we can.
next Tuesday is Giving Tuesday, and you're putting together an amazing
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for vendors to come
Yep,
together, the community to
absolutely.
show up and give support.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we're working on getting food trucks out there. We've got vendors. We've
Yep.
got, I don't even know all the pieces. I think I heard you talk about some entertainment and some different
Yes,
fun activities
that
that will be
too.
happening as well.
Yep.
But if you're sitting there listening to this right now and you want to be able to come out and support, or even if you can't come, but you want to
Yeah.
support,
Mm-hmm.
access the information. I know Susan's going to put that in the chat, and it's been going
Mm-hmm.
across on the screen as well. But sign up for the event, and then also just give back to the community.
Yeah.
Don't spend all your money Black Friday shopping. Save a little
Um,
bit to
right? I
give back
know.
to your local community to
Yes.
help support the good causes that are happening, because there's so many. Every single community has nonprofits. There's
Mm-hmm.
lots of nonprofits in every community.
I know.
Find one that meets your heart. And if the work
Mm-hmm.
that Susan and I are doing with the American Society, like, jump in, get
Yeah.
active, see how you can help.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hey, Darlene, I feel like I didn't give you enough like exposure for your company. I mean, how would you like people to reach out to you other than your website?
The best place to hang out with me is over at
Mhm.
LinkedIn. You can find me
Oh.
at Darlene Hawley. I spend a lot of
Mm-hmm.
time networking on LinkedIn. I have a
Mm-hmm.
presence over on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm not there very often. So come connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me know that you heard Susan and I's conversation today, and let
Mm-hmm.
me know, like, what's one way that you want to give back to your community, and
Yeah,
we'll find a way to help you get partnered and get involved. But definitely
exactly.
LinkedIn is probably my favorite place to hang out these days.
Okay. That's a good place to hang out for business people, I think, right?
Yeah, lots of
Hopefully.
great conversations happening over there.
Oh, I know. I've gotten into some of the groups. It's been very interesting. I like
Yeah,
LinkedIn for that reason. Yep. But yes, Darlene is excellent at what she does with branding and marketing. She's, I cannot think of anybody else but Darlene when it comes to marketing and branding and getting our story, just getting our story out there so that it's what do you call it, captivating, and then there's it's relatable. That's the word I'm looking. Relatable. That's what our brand has to be relatable to the people that we serve, right? So yeah,
absolutely. People buy from
Darlene,
people they know, like, and trust. And there's a lot of people that do the same type of work as you do. And so
yep.
how do you make yourself stand out? The one way that I have found is by, getting up and taking a stance for what you believe in, letting
Hmm.
people know how you make an impact, and then sharing your story, sharing
Yes.
pieces of yourself. People are not going to have the same story as you, but it's going to resonate with them, and it's going to make them think of something in their life. And
Hmm.
those value alignments are typically what brings business and clients in, so that you can really make an impact based off
Yes.
of your story.
Absolutely. And that's really neat. I mean, I think in the corporate realm of things, we don't really think about, oh, we need to share a story, right? We just sort of think about, oh, how do we make money, right? In the
Yeah,
corporate in the corporate side of things. But then the corporate side of things also somewhat dilutes the personal side of things. Like when you're serving people or your clients are in that sector whether it's a people business, we have to be relatable, you know.
yeah.
And
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 whether
that's
we
why
want
when
to,
I'm
I'll say,
sorry, go
whether we
ahead.
want to or not, Susan, we're all creating personal brands. Whether you're working inside of an organization,
Mhm.
you're running a business, you can either be the person who creates the brand and lets people
Mhm.
see who you are, or other
Yep.
people are going to make assumptions for you. And so it's
Mhm.
better to position yourself as a brand, start sharing your story, let people know
Mm.
what you are about, how you're giving back, what you're doing in the world, so that
Mhm.
nobody makes that brand for you. You want to create your own brand.
Exactly. Oh, before we go, I want to share our our flyer for our Giving Tuesday event. It's I called everybody, but then a couple of the partners were referred to us, and I'm just like, wow. When I saw the final version of our flyer, I thought, wow, we really have excellent support. I mean, I didn't I didn't expect all of this, like all of these partners, you know, and I'm extremely grateful that we have people who support what we're doing. I mean, even just putting their logo on here is like neat. We have friends, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We have
Got
friends in
friends
the
in high
community.
places.
We do. And even in Kenya, I was like, wow, we got somebody in Kenya
Yeah.
recognizing us. I mean, just think about it. There are 100, we're one of 400 community leaders, but we got we got mentioned this morning. I was like,
Yeah.
cool. I didn't expect that. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah. It just
So anyways,
shows
yeah.
when you start sharing your mission, other people rally around it. So I think it's
Yeah,
why it's so important that we do,
I know.
speak up and share where our
Hmm.
heart is, what we want to give back to, how we want to,
Yep,
be a leader in the world in
exactly.
general, because the world is rallying around the mission you've built, Susan.
Yeah, I know. So I hope everyone can make it on Tuesday. You know, we'll be out there making a lot of noise. So people come say, what's going on here? You know, so hopefully
Right?
they hear the music and they're like, oh, let's go check that out. Yeah, come check it out.
Yeah.
It's a free admission. You know, we'll have live music, excellent DJ. And the performers, they're all donating their time and their resources to make this happen. And I mean, I was like, wow, that's cool. I didn't expect, um, Giving Tuesday to bring a lot of people together the way that it's bringing together right now. And yeah, I'm very happy. I can't be more pleased than, I just want people to show up. Just show up.
Yeah.
Have some fun
So
that
come
day.
out if you're in Southern California. I know Southern California is pretty big, but if
Yeah.
you can get to San Bernardino to support this cause, I highly encourage you to come hang out, see the auctions, have some food, some drinks,
Yeah.
maybe a
It's
little
not that
dance.
far. You have a car, it's not that far. Right?
As long as there's no traffic on the road, Susan, we're fine. We got this.
Well, we've planned it so it's not during traffic hours. So it's
Okay.
11 to 4:30, and 4:30 is when it's not so dark, so we could still see relatively well to get home. Yeah, we planned
Yeah.
it that way. Hmm. Um, okay. Well, I think, is there anything else we should cover before we go? I know you have other things, and I have other things today
Yeah,
to
I
do.
think we hit on the main parts, but at this point, if you're still listening, come support us, come hang out with us, give
Yeah.
back in any way that you can. We so appreciate, even if you can't donate, can you share the
Mhm.
event? Can you let somebody know that we're
Yeah.
doing this? And let them know, we're on the map. Susan's excited
Yay!
about that map. We got to keep shouting from the rooftops, but
Oh my
let
gosh! I'll
people
show you the
let
map
people
again. Look,
And
I'm
if
so
they're not
excited.
involved, if you know people who are not involved with the Giving Tuesday campaign, let them know that this even
Mhm.
exists, because I don't think everybody knows exactly what Giving Tuesday is. They know they want to,
Mm.
there's a day about giving back to nonprofits and they want to help their communities, but
Mhm.
start to share the word about what Giving Tuesday is. Find local places. If somebody isn't in Southern California, they can partner with us, but they also can partner with a local organization as well and get
Yep.
involved. And let's just keep growing this organization and
Mhm.
letting people know, we're on a mission to do amazing things. Come join us.
I know.
Susan, I appreciate you having me here today. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
just creating the space that we can come together and help other people.
I'm so glad you were able to join us. I'm gonna play our dance music, like sign off.
All right. We're going to have a dance
I'll see
party.
you. Thank you so much, Darlene.
Susan, thanks for having me.
Thank you.